Hey guys, Brandon Woolum with CCM Magazine hanging out with Jordan St. Cyr today.
Yeah.
Been a little bit since we've seen you, and some big things have happened. You got your first #1 plaque.
Yeah.
Is it on the wall yet?
It's leaning against the wall.
Getting close.
You know, it's exciting. I can't believe that I mean, it's a neat thing to have, but it just tells the story of the impact of that message. I'm so grateful for.
Of course, that's for weary travelers.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that song.
I mean, we wrote it mid-pandemic as just an encouragement to the body of Christ to just remember of the availability of Christ, you know, his life for us. We can always come before him, lay our burdens down at his feet. And I think even now, I'm realizing personally, like the burden that I'm still carrying as we've come out of the pandemic, that, okay, that availability is still there. It's always there. I can come before Christ and just lay it down. It's a beautiful thing.
So for that song, you shot a video, and you're now living in Nashville, where probably 80% of music videos are shot. And you went all the way to Alaska to film this video. How did that happen? Why Alaska?
You know, I was talking to my director, Elliot, and I was like, you know, we're going to be in Nashville. Can we shoot it in Nashville? He's like, we might be able to make that work. And then he's like, well, how about Alaska? And I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. I've never been. I've always wanted to go. And if music can make a way for us to go there, then that's a yes. And I think it turned out great.
So no green screens. You were actually in Alaska for all that.
We climbed mountains. So it was past helicopter season, I guess. We didn't have a helicopter, so we had to climb this mountain. Probably about a 45 to 60 degree incline for about 2.5 hours. And it was grueling. I grew up in the prairies, so there's no mountains, no hills anywhere to be found. And when he was like, you get to hike a mountain? I'm like, absolutely. And 10 minutes into the climb, I was like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? And it was a long haul, but we made it to the top. And then, you know, you're working up there for a handful of hours, and then you're like, oh, we got to go back down. And so by the time we got back down, it was like I had sea legs. I could barely walk straight. It was interesting.
So the average radio listener might just kind of think you come out of nowhere. You have Fires goes top 5.
Yeah.
Then Weary Traveler goes #1.
Yeah.
For people that didn't know you before then, kind of share your journey of how you get to these top 5 songs back to back. The first couple of songs right out the gate.
If I had the formula, I don't know. I think I'd be a rich man. But no, I think it's about just showing up, continually engaging with the calling God has in your life. So, you know, I got into this as a worship leader. You know, worship was the language I feel God gave me to connect with him and his spirit. So 14, 15, I was leading worship in my youth group. And then I kind of got into the performance of music, did the singer-songwriter thing, did the rock band thing, and eventually just led me to this point in my life where there was one name that I wanted to sing about, and it was Jesus. And once I kind of put both feet in on that journey, that's when the doors started to open up.
So the debuted full-length album just came out a few months ago in March.
Yeah.
Of course, a couple of these songs have been on the radio, so people have heard those. What's a song on there that you want people to look up and stream that maybe they haven't heard yet?
Yeah, I mean, so the song on the top of the album, it's a song called No Matter What. For me personally, it's like a bookend to our story. You know, we walk through this fire with the birth of our youngest daughter. I'm born with a brain condition. We're navigating that 3.5 years down the road now. It's still, there's a lot of gray. There's a lot of unknowns that we're facing. Weary Traveler, you know, I'm on the road, my wife back at home with our kids. I think of her a lot, you know, and the burden she carries as you know, she does a lot of the heavy lifting at home. The song No Matter What is kind of a bookend to those songs because while we are standing in between, you know, our miracle and the not yet, and we believe for the greater things of God in our life that we haven't seen yet, this is where we're planting our flag. This is where we're drawing our line in the sand that God is faithful no matter what.
Just a couple weeks ago, speaking of those music videos, you posted a picture that looked like it might have been a music video shoot.
Yeah.
You were kind of vague with it. Are we ready to say what that was? Was it a music video shoot?
Yeah, we've got a live performance video coming out for No Matter What. It's going to be super fun, super colorful, and really just convey the message that's in the song. Is like, this is a beautifully amazing character that God is revealing through our story of his faithfulness, you know, that as the sun, you know, rises every day, whether we take advantage of that day or not to its full potential, he's there. He's there to bring the day, no matter what, whether we are going to have good attitudes about it or not. His faithfulness doesn't depend on us, and I think the video is really a joyful interpretation of that.
Awesome. You're right in the middle of the summer tour, probably about maybe a third of the way through.
Yeah.
How's that going? You got a date coming up here in Nashville too, Life Fest in just a few weeks. We'll see you again.
I'm so excited. Everybody always asks, hey, when do you play Nashville? I'm like, never. And
technically, you're still not playing Nashville. You're playing 45 minutes away, but we're getting you close.
That's right. We're close. I love spring and fall because we get to hop on a bus and it's really easy to go do shows. Over the summer, we live at the airport, and so it's a real test of like, do we want to still keep doing this? And we do these shows, and you meet people and you hear their stories of how these songs are just really supporting really their belief in God. And I'm grateful to be doing that. And so the answer is yes, I'll keep doing that. We're having a great summer.
Awesome. You talk about the kids there, and you've got Emery who has the brain condition. How hard is that going out on the road? Or are you able to take them out on the road with you some of these weekends? Or how do you juggle that?
There's not a lot of balance. I think I heard it said best that you tip the scale of life in favor of what matters most to you. And as believers, I think we tip the scale in favor of what matters most to Christ. And so the family is a great, gives us a great idea of our relationship with Christ. So family is so important to us. I've been able to bring the boys out. Our boys are 12 and 10, bring them out on the road a little bit. The hardest part with Amory was I was on the Jeremy Camp tour this last spring, got a call from my wife. I was in San Antonio, it was a Saturday, and saying, hey, the ambulance is coming, everything's okay, but Emery's having some seizure-like symptoms, got to take her in. And so that was impossible. There was no, you feel this calling on your life, you feel you're supposed to, leave home and go out and share this message, and there's so much stuff back at home and you can't even help. And so it took a couple days for me to get home. I couldn't get home right away, and we spent the week in the hospital. But even in that trial, I feel like, all these songs that we've sung up until now have really just planted that seed that are blossoming through these times. And so we feel even more called to get out and share this message. So we try and bring the family as much as we can on the road, know that it's not always possible, but still feel called to do this job.
Are you already writing for album number 2?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a handful of songs I really like. I've got a handful of songs I really don't like. It's a grueling process. Writing good songs is tough, but I think it's a beautiful thing. The beautiful thing of collaboration, where I am weak, God brings other people around that are really strong in certain areas. And it's if you allow it, it can be a real beautiful process.
Makes it a little easier now living in Nashville. There's a few other songwriters here too.
There's a few other. Before I was coming, weeks at a time, and you try and compress everything you need to get done in a week or two. And now there's a lot of ease. Yeah.
Yeah. You might have been doing the Zoom writes before it was cool to do.
We wrote Weary Traveler over Zoom. So it's possible. It's possible.
Speaking of Weary Traveler, did I see something about a 3-day devotional out there on YouVersion Bible app, I think is where it's at?
Yeah, we just, I took some time, dug into scripture, and really honed in on really just the core meaning of the song and how it relates to the gospel. And so if you are, weary, like I've been, like a lot of us have been through this season, even coming out of the pandemic, realizing the burdens that you may have been carrying, that would be a great resource to check out.
Sounds great. Well, Jordan's out on tour. He's got, probably 20 more dates on this tour.
Yeah.
Anything in the fall already announced?
Nothing's announced, but I think I can say, I'm going out with We Are Messengers, and Ryan Ellis is going to be on the tour. So excited for that. And we've got some Christmas plans as well, so we're going to be busy for the rest of the year.
Christmas song to go with the tour?
We're working on it. Yeah, we're working on it.